What's really so something that I've noticed is very funny is that obviously everyone is baking a lot more bread now. That's like a thing that everyone's doing. I'm really annoyed about this because I started baking bread like 3 weeks before the quarantine all started, and now everyone's buying all the goddamn yeast and flour, and it's harder for me to bake bread.
You talk about baking bread a lot on the show.
It's good. I started a sourdough starter.
Do you get like fresh live yeast or do you get like the dry stuff?
I do the active dry.
The activated, the dry stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about bread baking. Help me with the vocabulary, Ben.
I see. I mean, that's the yeast. I don't know what you want me to tell you right now, man.
Well,
Comes
there's
in a
different.
jar,
There's like
you
the,
put it in
there's
your
like
fridge.
you can get like the jar. Yeah, the jar in your fridge is like the dry yeast or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or it comes in packets. There's packets too.
Yeah. So I just came up because my dad was. I was visiting the folks and they're telling me that they were making bread or something for dinner. They needed yeast. And pizza dough. They're making pizza dough. And so, my mom called my dad to be like, "Hey, can you bring home some yeast from the restaurant?" And he's like, "Sure," but he didn't get it until he had already left. So he's like, "I'll just pick it up at the bakery. I'm sure they have yeast there." And so he went to the local bakery, and they had yeast, but they didn't have the dried yeast in the can or like the packaged yeast. They have like a live, fresh yeast. Like it just like comes. It's like one, it's an F ton of yeast, and two, it's like you have to use it like right then because it's like actually already. I'm not sure. It's not dormant, but like it's fresher.
It's active. Yeah, it's activated. I mean, to be fair, like a sourdough starter is live yeast.
Maybe what I'm saying is not that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not something that you buy live yeast all that often just as like a hobby baker, right? Just because you do have to use it faster, and you don't use that much yeast at once, right?
Well, yeah, that I know.
So, like, that makes sense to me, but I don't know.
This is the closest I've come to encountering yeast in the last, in my entire life, so.
I see.
I have nothing to contribute to this yeast conversation.
I just ordered a 1 pound bag of yeast online because I can't find it in any stores anymore.
1 pound of yeast?
Yeah, it's a lot of yeast. It's like $18 on Amazon, which isn't bad, actually.
I'll take your word for it, man.
I don't know how much yeast goes for nowadays.
I feel like that one of those little jars is like $4. I don't remember. I don't know. But that's, not that much yeast.
The cool thing about buying yeast is that after you buy yeast, both you and the seller are both making that dough.
That was a preview clip from our Patreon exclusive behind the scenes episode. For the full episode, click on the link in the description.